Hi, everyone. My name is Joseph McMullin, and I am joining AAI this year as a math teacher. And I'm really looking forward to being part of the team and meeting each one of you. So this little video is so that you can get to know me and where I come from. So I was actually born here in Salt Lake City, Utah, but at the age of 10 years old, I moved up to Vashon Island, which is a little island nearby Seattle and not too far away from Forks, Washington, where they filmed Twilight. Then when I was 17 years old, I went to China as a foreign exchange student. And the reason I went to China is because I tried to get into a music class and I wasn't able to get in. I didn't pass the audition. And so my advisor said, "How about you go to China?" And I said, "Sure." And I went, and it changed my life. It was such a great experience. Then I went back to Vashon. Then I went to Taiwan for 2 years as a missionary. After Taiwan, I went to BYU, where I got a degree in math. Then I got married and moved out to Boston, where my wife was getting a PhD at Harvard. She's a lot smarter than I am. And while she was studying, I taught math at a school nearby. Then we moved out to Los Angeles, and I took a break from teaching and I went to law school. After 3 years, I studied in China some more. Then we moved to Los Angeles again, where I worked at a law firm. And I was there for about a year before we moved to Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, I was also a lawyer at a big corporate law firm. And then after we were tired of living in the big city, we decided to go for a big change and move to Auckland, New Zealand, where my wife got a job teaching at the university. And I practiced law, and I became qualified to practice law in New Zealand. I became a solicitor and barrister of the High Court of New Zealand. And when you do that, they give you a really cool wig and those really cool Harry Potter robes. So that's me when I became a solicitor with my wig and my two boys. Then, after we lived in New Zealand for 5 years, we moved back to Utah, where I started teaching again, which has always been my plan, and have enjoyed teaching math. So, a little bit about my academic background. I studied applied math. So, what is that? What is applied math? Applied math is math that you use to solve everyday problems or to model things in real life. For example, this shape is the membrane of a drum, and when you hit it, it does that cool little wiggly vibration-y thing. You can also use applied math to model things in the real world, like a raindrop hitting a pond and those ripples spreading out and going back and forth and back and forth. You can also use applied math to create a never-ending staircase from which you can fall down infinitely. In terms of hobbies, I love watching kung fu movies, and some of them are really out there. And I do a little bit of welding. And I also still play the piano. So really quickly, to conclude, is to answer the question of why I teach, why I became a teacher. One night in Hong Kong, I was in my office. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and I was still working because people work crazy hours in Hong Kong. And I was working on a boring accounting document, and I ran across this phrase. The phrase was "the useful life of a long-lived asset." And it's one of those really boring accounting phrases, but I looked at that phrase and it meant something to me. I thought about my own life, and I thought, I'm kind of a long-lived asset. I'm going to be around for a long time, hopefully. And I wondered at that point whether my life was useful, whether being a corporate lawyer was what I wanted to do forever. And I quickly came to the realization, partly because it was 11 o'clock at night and I was tired of working, But I realized that I didn't want to be a corporate lawyer forever, and I wanted to teach. I wanted to do something meaningful. And I've had so many teachers in my life that have inspired me, that have made math exciting, that have made me interested in science and reading and Shakespeare and art. And I really enjoy sharing that joy of learning with students, and hope to share it with you as I maybe teach you math, or at least see you around the school. So with that, I'll conclude, and again, look forward to seeing you.